So one of the things that I've seen many people commenting on at the moment with reference to the Epstein files drop is how few men they are seeing speaking up about this. And I've even shared, that people that particular commentary in my stories and stuff, and it did quite well in terms of engagement. Like, I actually got a bunch of you put heart reactions and likes on it, which tells me that you're also noticing the same thing. I wanted to chime in with a slightly alternate opinion because for me, I've actually for many years been experiencing the opposite, okay? If you're noticing that the men in your field, in your algorithm, in your sphere are not speaking up about this, that tells me a lot about who you're interacting with. And I'm not disputing that it isn't happening. That's why I shared it, okay? I obviously shared it because if that's happening for people, I believe them, and I actually think it's entirely probable even that most men in mainstream society might not be speaking up about this. And largely because of, many people's analysis that they, resonate more with the predators named in the files than with the victims, which is obviously terrifying. And I don't dispute this at all. I've spoken for many years on my podcast. I even, mentioned it in my most recent episode 18, that the powers that be, have been quietly and surreptitiously normalizing pedophilia and Satanism as well for decades, or maybe even longer, okay? And, obviously people get a little... I can say, we can lose people sometimes when we talk about Satanism because they don't actually understand what it is. A lot of people have bought into satanic mindsets and ideologies without even knowing what it is, okay? It's just hyper individualism. It's just left brain dominance. It's also known as patriarchy or reptilian masculine capitalism. It's preserving the self over all others, abandoning the community, okay? Completely abandoning collective care and the divine feminine principle, community care, those kind of collaborative and collectivist ideals, okay? When you abandon those and go into hyper individualism, you get very left brain dominant, hyper masculine, narcissistic and satanic tendencies. So I don't dispute that a lot of men are not speaking up, but I want to weigh in and say that has not been my experience at all, okay? I have been involved in truth and activist and disclosure communities for many, many years, okay? Since 2007, I have been involved in circles that many people would refer to as fringe or conspiracy theorist circles, conspiracy realist, we like to call ourselves. People who've been awake to these issues for many, many years. And I will tell you that the vast majority of them are men, okay? Most of the people that have been doing this work of actively trying to speak up for children and for truth and being dot connectors and community organizers and not getting paid for it. This is a completely, like, now you're starting to see more people kind of popping up and, doing podcasts and actually being able to earn a living from it. But that wasn't a thing, back in 2007, back in 2010, back in 2012, when a lot of us started waking up to this. Okay. And the vast majority of them are men. Okay. Now I would say maybe it's a little bit more 50-50, but still the ones who are actively doing the heavy lifting and speaking up about secret societies and satanic networks and speaking up against the child trafficking network specifically are men. So if you're not seeing men in your circle speaking up, you're in the wrong circles, babes. And you have been for a long time. You need to stop dealing with those types of men. You need to completely take your attention away from those men. This is what the 4B movement has been trying to say to women for a long time. Stop talking to them. Definitely stop dating them and having their children. Don't marry them, but just completely turn your attention away from them and go and find the men that have been doing this work for a really, really long time, okay? That sacred warrior protector archetype that all of you women are saying, where is he? He's probably still living in his mother's basement because he's been trying to wake humanity up to these things for a long time, and maybe y'all can stop making fun of him now, okay? Because those men exist and they've been doing a lot of work for humanity for a long time. And yeah, maybe like everyone can stop making fun of them, making fun of us now, because you know, doing this type of work, this type of activism work has come at great personal and financial cost to many of the people doing this work. So hopefully, you know, I know a lot of people, we've been having some conversations within those circles about, you know, how vindicated everybody's feeling that now suddenly everybody's waking up to what we've been saying for so many years. And so hopefully we'll see some change now. But yeah, if you're not seeing men speaking up, then you need to just start associating with better men and change your value system, really.